Good evening, everybody. My name is Marietta Elliott. I am your co host tonight, and I'm also the president of the Real Team. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Last week, we had people who tuned in, which was definitely appreciated. I have a couple of new guests coming on, and tonight we're going to try to figure out what would be a good plan to keep our children on track, those that have not fallen short, because it's a jungle out there, and there are so many people that are out there willing to attack our children and turn the goodness around. So hopefully, we'll have enough people in the audience that are going to tune in and actually have some input tonight. There was a young lady who tuned in this morning. I invited her to come back tonight, so hopefully she will be joining us as well. So until our guests get into the studio, let's kind of talk a little bit about some of the things that have happened within the family dynamics that have scarred our children. And the things that go on in our household, it's like our children may be in the next room. We think that they are not paying attention to us, but as they say, silence is golden, and silence can also harbor some things that we never knew was deep rooted in our children. So, if there's some people out there that have some experience in ways to redirect our children, please tune in tonight and give us some of your information. It's going to be a good topic tonight. I have a young lady, which is my niece. She's going to come in, tune in tonight to share her story. And I have so many people that I want to get into the studio to share their stories because, man, there's a lot of stories out here that need to be told. And a lot of stories are being swept under the carpet. And that is something that, we don't need to happen. We need incidents that happen, and we need to keep them up front as if they just happened. We don't let months go by, days go by, years go by without keeping this stuff up front, because that is the only way we are going to bring things to an end. It's the only way we're going to give the person who has caused the problem a conscience. Because sometimes, when we stop talking about things, people have a tendency to think that it's over with. There is no more conversation that needs to happen. And that couldn't be further from the truth. We don't like to live in the past, but the death of a child is not something that could ever be a part of the past. I think every mother, I want to say, I don't think every mother, I know every mother that has lost a child live with it every day. They live with it every single day, 24/7. They wake up with it, they go to bed with it. But the people in the world, or the person who did this horrific act, sooner or later, if it's not talked about anymore, they forget about it. And they think that it's an okay thing. They got past it. But it's not fair. And for people out there in the audience, I'm hoping that there are some young people that are going to tune in tonight, and they're going to absolutely realize they've done the wrong thing, and they're going to make it right. They're going to make it right. That is the hope here, because that's very important. So we're going to give people a chance to get into the studio. So far, no one's in yet, but our notices didn't go out either as well. So I don't know how many people are going to actually tune in tonight, because the notice didn't go out like it should have. So I do apologize for that piece of this program. But anyways, we're going to stay focused, and we're going to talk about people that would be perfect for our team. They're out there. I know they're out there. Just like I met Queen Nubia and Paris, I know that they're out there. We need people that have enough business about themselves to want to change the direction of our youth. And I made a comment in reference to we want people who's going to join and not be dead weight. We need to have people who are going to come aboard with something. They're going to bring something to the table. They're going to be willing to volunteer some time, because right now we all have to volunteer. We have to volunteer for what we want. And sometimes it takes a while before we can get paid, but it we so well worth it when we start realizing how many children are no longer being put in the graves. I mean, it's mortifying. Every single day we lose one of our children, and it's important to me. The black race is truly important to me, and it's not just because I'm a black woman, but it's because we are a strong race of people who deserve to prosper. We deserve to prosper. We have prospered in a lot of different directions, but we have not prospered in the direction of not taking each other's lives. And we got to get these drug dealers off the streets. I hate to say it, but that's where it started. That's where a lot of that stuff started, with the drug dealers. And that continues to be true right to this day. And for those of you who have a drug dealer living in your house, you need to stop and think about that. Money might be there, but you are also destroying our race. You are letting them continue to destroy our race. And yes, drugs are a choice. And sometimes people get into drugs because of what's on their minds. They're trying to turn off their minds. They're trying to cope with some things that are going on within their minds that they can't seem to control. So a lot of people do turn to drugs simply because that's a way to calm them down. Right now, I'm listening to gunfire as we speak. Gunfire as we speak. Unfortunately, that's outside, but those bullets can ricochet and end up right here in this house. So we got to think about these things. So getting back to these people who are selling drugs, um, I want you guys to realize we're helping destroy our own people. And for some odd reason, we don't seem to realize that until after one of our babies have died, within your own family, within your own household. Then you start to think about the devastating results of drug trafficking. And that's something that doesn't have to be. We can become entrepreneurs and not drug entrepreneurs. We can be people who can create jobs for our own selves. I mean, everybody's got a talent. We all have a gift. We all have some experience, and we all have a love for something. So if your love is to be a barber, you like doing hair, you want to be a beautician, get your license. So that way you can do this without having to be that drug dealer. I'm a gardener. I mean, I could easily open up a garden center because I love gardening. It's not a hard job to do. And landscaping, that's another job that's so easy. You just need one lawnmower and get your clients. If you just think about just the people on your particular street on both sides, that's a good customer relationship and a good place for you to grow your business just within your own street, where you don't necessarily have to have transportation. You can walk up and down the street with your lawnmower and cut everybody's grass. So let's start thinking about these things. For those parents who have children, if you have a talent, teach your children. Get them involved in the things that you love, because you just never know. They might decide that they want to follow in your footsteps. Give them that direction. Give them that hope. Give them the ability to know that they can do something different besides sell drugs. And, that'll help with relationships. I am learning that the more you love, the more you embrace people, the stronger your relationships get with people, and the prosperity of them living and going on with their lives and doing great things. It's fantastic. So we're going to start thinking about that. We're going to talk about that, and I want to be able to get people that are way younger on this program. We got to get people involved. Those that have not gotten into the wrong space, Honest to goodness, I spoke earlier today about people who go away to college, and they go to college and they become drug addicts. They become alcoholics. And if they already are into the drug scene before they go to college, or if they're already into the alcohol scene before they go to college, it's just going to intensify. It's going to intensify. And I think that, a lot of these kids that are already alcoholics or already drug addicts, their parents send them away with not even addressing that situation. And once they get into college, that's where things are going to fall short. It's going to get intense. And parents, if you have children out there that is even questionable, that have even just experimented, it's your responsibility to sit them down and have a conversation. And I mean, the next day, if they're already under the influence, tuck them into bed, get them up in the morning, and have that conversation with them about your expectations and where you see them going. And absolutely, it cannot be. It just cannot be in our lives, in our families. And I know when my nephew was first born, of course, he was the first grandkid. And I said to him that, because you are the first grandkid, you will not become the first bum. Because being the first grandkid, you get spoiled. You get spoiled rotten. And that can easily ruin a child's life. People don't understand that sometimes you spoil them in the wrong way. You're setting them up for failure. You're absolutely setting them up for failure. So, looks like my sister's in the house. Okay, how nice is that? Okay, hi Brenda. Thank you for tuning in. How nice is that? I definitely appreciate that. So, we got people that we need to get into the house. I sent out the link, so I'm hoping that because I invited Shantae. I don't know if you remember I told you that I invited Shantae to come in and tell her story. So hopefully she'll get in and she'll be able to share her story. Because a couple of years ago, back in 2023, I did an actual talk show in reference to her loss and the other women who have lost their children. So I kind of want her to come on and share a little bit. I don't know what's going on with her, but I will at least reach out. Yeah, so we'll see. And I don't plan on being on too long tonight because we've been doing these 3 hours and not tonight. So Brenda, how was your night tonight? Is it okay? Everything good for you? Hello?
Hello?
I sent you the email, the link in your email. Yeah, check your email, you'll see it. All right, honey, thank you. All right. Okay, so yeah, she's getting ready to check her email, which is good. Um, this is so funny. Today, I got everything in order, and okay, yes, all is good. Okay, thank you. So glad you're supporting me. To the world, this is my baby sister. She's like the best sister in the whole wide world. I wouldn't trade her for nothing in the world. So she's my support system. She's definitely been my support system. So we'll see. Okay, so we'll give her a couple of minutes. You always have the cute little thingies. I love my sister. She is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, maybe you want to share how you feel about losing our young men and young women to this cruel world that we live in. I mean, what is your feel? Do you have an idea on how we're going to curb this behavior? Um, I definitely will be interested in what you feel, and maybe you'll share it with the world. How about that? Share everything with the world. Oh, Shantae's calling me. Hello. Oh, did you check your email? Well, yeah, because it did go out. Hmm. Yeah. So you don't see it under the for real team? The for real team. Hmm. Because I don't know. Okay. Okay. Well, hang on a second. Okay. Let me uh, put this on mute for a second. I'll be right back. Okay, there she go. Shantae, can you hear me? Okay, good, good. All righty. So, I would love for you to introduce yourself. You look so beautiful, darling. Introduce yourself to the world. Can you turn up your volume? You sound far away. Can you turn up your volume? I should turn my phone off. I'm gonna hang my phone up, Shantae. Okay, I'm hanging up. Okay. So Shantae, can you hear me now? Uh-oh. You must be on mute. I can't hear you now. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm trying to go. Where's my mouse again? Okay. Oh,
She moved and tried to wait for her to come back in.
okay. Okay. Oh, okay. I don't know. So Brenda, can you hear me? I think it's a tragedy. Tell her to check her junk or spam file. Okay, here she go.
I don't know what happened.
Okay. Well, can you hear me good now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All righty. So reintroduce yourself, beautiful.
I'm Shantae. I'm Shantae White. I'm Marietta's niece. Yeah. Hey y'all.
This is so exciting. My sister, she also tuned in too, so she's watching. Let me see. Let's see.
Hey ma.
Yeah, she's talking about static. I'm
Okay.
saying staticky. Okay, staggering. I wish I had the answer right. Exactly, because for some odd reason the reception is poor sometimes. It's really poor. So yeah, Shantae, I did a couple of years ago a show on your loss.
Okay.
And just previously, before you came on, I just had to have a bit of a conversation. And I want you to be able to share your story. I said, when these things happen, we need to keep these things up front. We can't allow these things to just fade away and be swept under the rug eventually.
Right.
So this is going to I want this to reignite the spirit of getting to the end of this and bringing people to justice. I think that it's very important that you know if we keep talking about it, that person will have that conscience. We don't need the conscience to go away, because when consciences start to go away, they start to think it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. And you look exactly like your dad. See you on camera, I can't believe how. I mean, you already did look exactly like him, but I mean, really,
Right.
it's beyond. I mean, really, it's beyond. So yeah, my sister says, "Hi, Shantae."
Hey. Okay, now she can hear us. Hey. Hey
She
ma.
says, "Yeah, my baby girl, I love you so much. We love Shantae.
Right.
We idolize her. Yes, we definitely idolize her. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Okay, so yeah, you're a young mom,
Mm-hmm.
and I want more people in your age bracket to start to tune into this podcast. And I
I
want,
um I got a couple. I got a couple of friends who have lost kids. I didn't tell them because I wanted to tune
mhm,
in first to see what it was about. So
okay,
I will make sure that I spread the word. One of my friends just lost her kid maybe like 2 weeks ago to a car accident.
mm,
Um and then I had another friend who lost her daughter to a hit and run, and they buried her. They buried her Saturday, and then after they buried her, um, her son was leaving the burial, the little memorial at the church, and he got into a car accident and he died the day that they buried the sister. So she had a double, yeah,
This is unreal. This is absolutely unreal.
yeah.
Well, we got to
And
do
I
some.
did get detectives, they did reach out to me and told me they had an update. They do got a suspect. They going through everything. They going through Instagram pages, Instagram pages, Facebook pages, and they will keep me updated. But it's looking real promising. That's what they told me.
Okay, very good. Because you had two nice detectives that
Yeah,
had hearts. They had
yeah,
hearts,
yeah.
and I would love to get them on just to talk about not necessarily specific situations, but just to tell us how hard it is to get to the bottom of this stuff.
Hmm.
Because I know it's not easy. It's a lot of ongoing work, and it's hard.
Hmm.
Okay, must say yes. I can hear you. Okay, okay, all right, yeah, Shantae. If you would like to kind of just give a little brief scenario, um, on
About what happened?
yeah, on that particular day.
Um, it was October. It was October 18th. Well, no, it was October 14th when he went to a party,
Hmm.
and he told his friend like he didn't feel safe. They were like, man, it's not safe. So they went inside the party and tried to he tried to connect to the internet. I
Hmm.
feel guilty because I didn't pay his phone bill. So he tried to connect to the internet and didn't make it. Shots rang out, and he caught a long story short. He caught a bullet through the wall. It wasn't intended for him. It came through the wall and it shot him in the head. It went in through the right side, the left side, and it swung around and it stopped in the back of the head at the right. It never the bullet never touched the brain. It The skull fragments on the inside of the skull is what chopped up the wires to tell the brain to get up, to tell the brain to do everything. So they ran tests on him and everything, and
Hmm.
he was declared brain dead on October 18th. So I had him for 3 days later after the incident. But like I really didn't have him. He was already gone.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
So that's just a situation where wrong place, wrong time.
yeah, yeah,
And that is the horrific part about these sort of things. I remember there was a time, I got out of my car for my it was my birthday, and a young man came down the street and he just started firing his gun. And I'm just coming home in my own yard. A bullet could have ricocheted and done the same thing to me. That's the part that these young people don't seem to realize,
yeah.
that if
They don't,
there is no target intended, doesn't mean there won't be any victims.
they don't care. They don't care. These young people, they ain't got no chill. They don't care. They think they invincible. They think that won't nothing happen to them. They think that they can get away with anything and still be okay. Like they think they the hardest thing on the earth that's walking, and they not. They not. They have no clue, no idea.
Hmm. So, Shantae, can you share what you feel is the reason for that mindset?
Um, a lot of it come from like having parents who don't care.
Mm.
It's like and we being young parents. Like it ain't no more big mamas. It ain't no more big mamas no more. Everybody mothers is like um either young early 30s or early 40s. Grandmas now is like early 40s. I mean,
Mhm.
and they ain't got time to be trying to raise no kid. You know, they want to hit the streets too and be out here partying. You know, mama want to have a life too. You know, ain't no more big mamas where you know, grandma want to see the whole family together and everybody come over there for Sunday dinner and you talk about what's going on within the current events. It ain't no more of that. You know, society nowadays just telling you to just you gotta look good, you gotta get this money, and you gotta treat a girl like a hoe, and the man gotta talk down on the woman, you know, or if your body don't look like this, you ain't nothing. You know, it's giving a whole perspective on something different, and that's what the little kids idolizing now. It ain't, this generation is like, yeah, it ain't. I'm scared.
Wow. Man, you really summed up a lot of things. I mean, I spoke last weekend in reference to the fact that having children, you do have to give up your life in order to raise your children properly. You have to make that sacrifice. You can't be the mom that wants to be the mom today and then tomorrow I don't have time.
Right.
And that's something that, you know, I really want to stress.
It gotta be consistency. It ain't no consistency nowhere. You know, it's like, it's not even like half these kids don't even come home to a home cooked meal. You know, they got to fend for themselves because mama's somewhere out in the streets or something. Or, you know, she at work trying to make a dime or trying to, you know, provide for the family. You know, it's like, it's messed up if you actually look at it, because it's like, it's either you damned if you do or damned if you don't.
Wow. Listen, that's just something. I mean, and that's something, you know, I talked about last week as well. You know, there is no more big mama.
It ain't.
And I'm telling you, me at age 65, I have to become that big mama.
Yeah.
I have to become.
I mean, you have to, you want to become that big mama, but then you look at this generation now and be like, man, I ain't got time, because the moment that one kid disrespect me, it's going to get ugly. And they disrespectful. They don't care about you being older or elder. That same little boy that you watch grow up and change his diaper or turn around and be like, bitch, I ain't got to listen to you. Excuse my French, but that's what he'll say. Because at the end of the day, where's the respect level at? If he ain't doing it at home, he ain't going to give it to you.
Right. And I definitely get your point. I clearly see that. And so, with that being said, we have to be in a space of fearlessness.
I mean, how can
you be able to stand in with these young babies?
I mean, but how can you stand in with them when at the end of the day they don't respect us? I mean, you can try to give them knowledge and talk to them and everything, but they looking at you like you too carrot crazy, because like, oh, you don't know nothing, even though we've been there and done that. It ain't doing it, but just circling all around. It's coming right back, repeating itself. So we've been there and done it. I'm not trying to tell you how to do it, but maybe just listen to my story. You can cut some corners a little bit if you just listen to what I'm saying to you.
Absolutely.
But they ain't doing that though. They thinking when we telling them we trying to run their life, or we don't know what we talking about. Like, we ain't never been there and we ain't do that, and we ain't, man, we done been there, done that, and we ain't the best of them, because we had, you know, it's like our moms and stuff that been there, done that, who ran circles around us, and we trying to run the same game. You know, it's just like we just repeating the same game, but they act like they writing it different or they doing something better than we did, and they not.
Right. So, you know, you mentioned Sunday dinners, and that's what I'm pushing now. I'm pushing for individual families to get back to the dinner table on Sunday and prepare these meals together. I want to see if bringing families back together at the table on Sunday will promote better relationships.
I mean, you got to see how the families get along, because you got siblings. I mean, you got families who really don't like each other secretly, and who come around just to see what somebody else got going on. So why would you come around your family if you know, like, they just coming around and see what I got going on so they can go behind my back and talk about me? That's what be going on. You know, like, so why would I come sit at a table with you on a Sunday dinner and break bread, me being genuine wholeheartedly, and I know that's what my cousin or my sister ain't here for. She's just trying to get the gossip to go run back and, you know, try to make a mockery of, you know, like me going through what I'm going through right now. Everybody going through something, but you might not tell what you're going through. I might be telling you what I'm going through, and you come to family dinner because you want to hear more of it.
Oh boy, yeah, I can see exactly what you're saying. I clearly see that. And for those that have that mindset, have they lost anybody in their families? I wonder. Because it seems like to me, if you start losing people in your family, the dynamics should change in reference to how you feel about your family members.
It don't even have to be like, it don't even have to be a loss per se. It can be like, I'm coming around because I got a new promotion at my job. You just want to come around and be like, oh, she ain't really getting no promotion. Like, that little promotion, girl, you ain't doing nothing. Is you making six figures? Like stuff like that. Like, celebrate with me. Don't talk
Oh,
about me.
right, right, right.
Congratulate me. Be like, girl, that's good. Like, you on your way. You going somewhere. Don't just
Mhm,
sit there and be like, oh, that ain't nothing. She ain't doing nothing with that little. Come on now. And you
yeah.
sitting at home collecting welfare.
So we need to learn how to uplift and support each other.
That part. But it's I mean, I think it's just us as a unit of blacks. Like, we don't want to see each other win.
Right.
It's like we fight against our own, and I mean, we fight against us to do for what? I mean, because if you pay attention, I think, like, off subject, but the inauguration. Why
Mhm.
is it on Martin Luther King Day?
Right. We talked about that.
Like, that's a, like, so, yeah, some things you just gotta laugh at.
Exactly, because that's a
And just
slap
be
in the
like, you
face.
know what? It ain't got nothing to do with me. Even though in the end, it's hurting me, but sometimes some things you have to just ignore. I mean, out of sight, out of mind.
Mhm,
It's hurting me in the long run, but right now, let me live in
mhm,
this moment.
mhm, mhm. Right. Well, I certainly want you on board, Shantae, with this move because you got a strong voice. You're powerful, and we need that. I mean, you're out there in the world of people that are in your generation. You know people that are of your
Mhm.
age, and you know what they're going through. So if you can get them on board to come in and share their thoughts, I mean, I think collectively we should be able to change something.
Right.
I just don't want to see us lose any more of our children because they're in the wrong place trying to have a nice time, or because they got involved, someone's jealous, um, family
Car
members are
accidents, driving down the streets, the shootings.
exactly.
You can be anywhere. I mean, it's senseless, and for what? But I figured it out. We in our last days. We actually live in revelations. We are living revelations. Whether people want to believe it or not, if you actually sit back, if you a real like church going person, and you know that Bible and you reading that book, well,
Hmm.
we in our last days. So right
Hmm.
now, we should be praying. Everybody should be on their knees, hitting their knees right now, praying. If you're not praying for your family and stuff, you praying for the nation. I mean, because if you look at it, look at what it's doing. You see the fires in California, the wildfires just coming from out of nowhere.
It's crazy.
I mean,
It,
so what is
it's
that right
crazy.
there? But I do know in the book, God did say he wasn't going. It wasn't going to be fire. It was going to be what? Was it going to be water?
I don't remember. I'm not a Bible person. So my sister should know though.
Yeah, I mean, I
Brenda.
think it's gonna. I think he's
Yeah.
gonna take us. He's gonna wipe us away with water. I don't think
Hmm.
it's gonna be. It might. It's either fire or water. It's one of them two.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, this is unfortunate, and that's the whole thing. Though it may be coming, I think we still need to move forward with trying to save as many young folks as we can.
I mean, we
Uh,
trying to, but
yeah,
it's getting out of hand. Then you got your young folks, like killing their own parents or stabbing their own siblings. I mean, come on now, that's crazy.
I have not heard about kids killing their own siblings. That I have
Man,
not heard about. But I
you
know that people have killed their parents.
man, they killing their siblings. They killing their siblings and going to jail. You ain't heard about the two brothers last year that killed each. That the one brother killed the brother and went to jail in front of killed him in front of his mom. And you know what's the crazy part about it? I was at work the other day, and I ran into the mom, and it was the anniversary of her son's death, and she was like, and my son killed him, and I was like, wow.
And how old were these
They
young
was in their
men?
20s. They was in their 20s.
Dear God, dear God.
Her youngest son killed her middle son.
No reason for that. And what was it over? Do you know?
Man, she said they was arguing a fight, and he, like I just said, greed and
Wow.
you ain't doing all of that. You ain't doing all of that. I got more than you. Like stuff like that. Like how families like, no, I don't want to come to Sunday dinner. It goes back to ain't no big mamas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's the thing. We as the 60-year-olds, a little bit older, we have to step up and say, now, I'm going to be Big Mama.
I mean, okay,
I might not be 70 or 80 years old, but I'm going to be Big Mama. I'm going to take charge of this family now.
I mean, just think, but then you have, okay, you got that mindset, and that's awesome. But then think about the nieces and nephews that you got in the crew that you got. You be like, okay, like hold on, they do got them bad kids. They ain't even controlling their kids. If I can bring them over my house, I gotta hear them telling me to shut up. They telling their mama to shut up, and if I whoop them, they gonna be like, you ain't putting your hands on me. I'm calling 696. You gotta think about all of that play a part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Who really wants to deal with that?
Yeah. And see, you know what? And that's the thing. The question is definitely who wants to deal with it. But at the end of the day, we have to deal with this. Because if we don't, they're going to win.
That's not my strength. That's not my strength to deal with it. That's not my strength.
Well, I'm not saying necessarily you. I'm just saying across the board.
The older, the big mamas.
Exactly. That's
okay.
That's what I'm saying, that we as the older generation have to step in and say, I am now going to be Big Mama. Though I'm not 80 or 90 years old, I'm going to now, because Big Mama started at 60.
Yeah. That was a real grandma. If she a grandma went 35, 32.
Right. Exactly. So, I'm now a great grandmother.
Right.
So I am the Big Mama in the family. Because I'm
not a grandma.
I know, but I'm just saying that, for the people that are in my generation and a bit older, they are now have to become that matriarch.
Right.
They have to assume their position. They have to assume that position of being the matriarch.
Right.
Because it's necessary now.
Mm-hmm.
We got to pass the baton in a different way now.
Yep.
And that's one thing that I am not going to let go of. And I think that it's time that our generation is held accountable for keeping the families together and bringing the families back together.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that 100%. And I know that there are a lot of people that are in my generation that absolutely believe in bringing families back together. We worry so much about our young people. You know what I'm saying? We worry a lot. And even just, you as being, as young as you are, though you may feel like you're older, but you are very young, and you weigh on our hearts because you're such a wonderful child.
Thank you.
And a bundle of love, I mean, I will say, I say to the world, this young lady, I have her sitting on my lap.
She do.
I make her sit on my lap so I can love up on her. Because that's how wonderful she is.
Thank you.
So, and that is also a compliment to your mom, because she was there.
Yeah.
I'm saying she was there. And that was an important thing. Having your mother in your life made a big difference. And I definitely appreciate her.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely appreciate her. So you have really opened my eyes to more things, Shantae. And for the people out there in the world who have not heard it the way you put it, I definitely appreciate that.
Thank you.
This is the spirit that we got to keep alive.
Yeah.
We got to keep it alive. We got to keep it real. We got to know what our young people are up against. And you put it right out there. You put it right out there. You gave us the warning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you were able to give the warning because you're a mother and you have people in your generation that have gone through or are going through same thing that you've been through.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And those, Shantae, I want people in your age range to be a part of the team
Okay.
because it's your generation
That's
who are
losing.
losing. That's right. It's
Mhm.
your generation. You know what I'm saying? And that's important to me. And that is the reason why I invited you on because, like I said to you, I did my show on the 23rd of October and I could barely get through it because of you and what you were going through.
Mhm.
I want to make it very clear to the world that this is a hard time for me. My heart is bleeding for you.
Mhm.
And I didn't specifically name you because that was not something that I had spoke to you about.
Right.
But I still went away with I have to address this.
Mhm.
And I did address it specifically for you
Okay.
because it was a hard thing. And it's still very hard. And, I am so glad to hear that they are trying to bring this to a close.
Yeah.
It's been a long journey.
It has.
And you've been extremely strong through that process. And that's another thing you need to share with us, how you were able to stay strong and not, break down and go into a space that you couldn't be brought out of.
Right.
Because it was a tough one. And it's still tough.
Yeah.
It's still tough. So how can you just share with the world what it took?
I don't really know. I haven't really gave up that cry yet.
Hmm.
Like I'm you know how like you try to ignore it a little bit, but it's hard to ignore. So I just I don't know. I don't know how I'm doing it, but I'm doing it.
Well,
Sometimes
that's
I
the nice
crash out.
part.
Sometimes I crash out.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it, and
Well,
I think it's God for real.
yeah, that's amazing that you know you're doing it, but you don't know how.
I don't know
That
how.
that's a beautiful thing, Shantae. That speaks volumes.
Yeah,
That speaks volumes of the possibilities that it can be done, though you can't share the words and
right.
what you did, but you're the example that it can be done.
And then it's I guess it's the fact that like I grew up in the church
Hmm.
and like I know everybody got a time, everybody got a number. I just wasn't expecting um one of my kids' numbers to be before mine.
Hmm.
I knew that once you die, you either go to heaven or hell, and you got to go back to God. So I knew he was mine, but he wasn't fully mine.
Hmm.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Oh my God, I do. I
So
do.
with with me knowing that and understanding that,
Hmm.
I think that's what's like helping me a little bit because I know like that's where my strength, that's where all my strength come from. Like every morning, I just wake up and I say thank you, Jesus. I have to. Um, and so yeah, I knew he wasn't fully mine, and I had to give him back. So I wasn't prepared to give him back at 18. I wasn't. And I can't say like that. the 18 years that I had him was bad because none of it was.
I
You know,
mean,
like he
yeah,
had a
I should have asked you about that part too, because he was playing football. He was a star on the team. I heard him
yeah.
talking about that.
He was a great kid. You know, like he had his ways, but he was a great kid. You know, like I can't complain. I wouldn't have traded him for nothing else. I
Right,
would
right.
the same kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bless your heart. I love you, Sate.
I love you too.
I love you, baby. I don't mean to, I don't want you to be, in that space of being sad, but this is a sad situation, and I'm trying to keep from, tearing up because it's hard. I mean, it's hard, especially because when you're a good mother and you're trying to do what you can do, you treat your children respectful, and then you still have to separate from them. But you said that they're all gifts, and when they're given to us, sometimes we got to return them sooner than we want to. That's the
Right,
part that's hard. We got to give it back before we're ready.
right,
And
right.
then that is truly the cycle of life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think about how, every single day and every second of this life, someone is born.
Mm-hmm.
And for every child that is born, it's
Somebody
pure.
died.
It is absolutely pure. And that someday we all have to return.
Mm-hmm.
We all have to return. And that's the hard part. We're never ready for any return. I mean, even when I lost my mom, I wanted 10 more years with her. I asked God over and over and over again, just 10 more years. But he said, no, absolutely not, Marietta. And I do believe that when God takes away someone that we love, he's letting us know that you are strong, but you may not realize it at the time.
But you're gonna be okay.
Exactly. I really believe that God is someone who prepares us, and we don't even know we're being prepared.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know we're being prepared, and we have to wake up every day realizing that we're being prepared for something,
Right.
even though it may not be something great, but we're being prepared for something.
You being molded for your purpose.
Exactly, exactly, and that's the beauty of it all. My sister said, "Not going to be water." He did that the last time, and the rainbow is God's promise not to do that again. Okay, so I knew she would have the answer. Knew she would have the answer. You have many people holding up in prayer. Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
Okay, you definitely have a strong foundation in God. Oh my goodness, yes. My sister says God got you.
Yep.
May God continue to heal you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
my little baby. We love our little Shantae. So I guess Queen Nubia, she just sent me a message. She wanted to join us. She's a woman that I met. Actually, I didn't physically meet her yet, but she sent us an email, and I reached out to her, and she's been a guest on the show several times. She's actually she's a New Yorker, but she's now in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a beautiful thing that, we're networking with people outside of the state of Ohio. And I think that that's an important thing, that we network with people outside of the state of Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland is one space, but there are so many other people out here that are victims.
Right.
Anytime you lose your child, you become a victim. It's not just the child that's the victim. You're the victim. The mom is the victim. The father is the victim. The family is the victim. And these young people have to start realizing or thinking. They're not thinking. They need to start to think that when you take away a life, you're taking away a brother or a sister or aunt or an uncle or a cousin. This is our family member. We're all going to suffer. We're all becoming that victim. And I think that message has got to get out there. And you know what, Shantae, I have an idea that these people with the gun violence or the drug dealers, I think instead of being sentenced to prison the first year, they need to go and take care of somebody who's been a gunshot victim. Need to go and volunteer their time, not get paid, but to be right there to take care of them 24/7 for a whole year before they're sent to prison. Or a
Mm-hmm.
drug dealer that has sold drugs to somebody that OD'd, that they should become a person who is going to get involved with the healing process.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that we got to become conscious. And you know, a person without a conscience is a dangerous person,
A dangerous person.
extremely dangerous. They're
Mm-hmm.
beyond the danger of Satan,
Right.
because Satan will at least stop and think about who he's getting ready to bother.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's one of guys, he's going to go in the other direction. So the people that are out there have no conscience, and I think that also is part of the problem. I think once we become more conscious of our actions and being held accountable right now for their actions, I think there's going to be a change. It'll have to be a change.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, it will.
Mhm.
It ain't gonna be no other choice but to be a change.
Exactly. So those are the things that I'm pushing for.
But
Accountability.
when would a conscience set in?
Yeah. Well, and see, and that's the whole thing, is that, you know, it would be really nice if the people in the audience that have tuned in tonight start thinking about who they have in their family that they know carry guns, and they're very young. These guns are not registered. I think they need to get involved with that process. Parents need to start going through their children's things, because you know, sometimes privacy can allow a child to get into the space that they don't belong in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate that, you know, when we were coming up, there was no privacy. If my mom
Mm.
wanted to go through our things, they did it. So I think we need to get back to that space in our lives as well.
Yeah.
So, all righty. I think, you know what? I promised, I absolutely promised tonight that I was not going to be on 3 hours, because that's what we've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I want you, Shantae, to say something to the world, sweetie. Say something to the world before we close tonight.
Um, which one me to say?
Whatever's on your heart. If you're angry about something, it's okay. You can talk about it.
Um,
If you feel like you got enough people in your life that are going to come aboard and try to help turn this around, acknowledge that. Whatever you feel.
you know, I don't know what I feel. I ain't been really feeling.
Mhm.
I've been numb
Yeah,
and just going with the flow for real
and I get
until
it.
I get full closure.
Mhm. Right. Okay.
So I just been numb. I ain't been feeling. I ain't been knowing how to feel. I don't know how to feel. Like it's different. You know,
Okay.
trying to. It's different when you trying to learn life all over with a missing piece.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't know how to feel right now. I'm trying to figure that out.
Well, you know what? What you just
Even though I
okay.
do have other kids, you know, but I think it's like they understand too, because it's like we all trying to figure out how to feel again. Like where we go from here. Like what do we do now?
And I can imagine that's exactly the way it is. It can't be any other way.
Right.
It just
But
cannot
see,
be any
was
other way.
everybody's go to. Everybody went to camp. That Cameron was the go to.
Oh. Mm, mm, mm. Wow. Isn't that something? Well, one thing I know, Shantae, is that you have more strength than you ever believed. You have more strength than you would ever believe. Every day that you get through it is a definite sign that you are stronger than you were. And that's beautiful. We really can't ask for a lot more than that. The strength and the closure. And I know that there's, the other moms out there and the other dads that are out there, they've gone through it. And I'm sure they are doing it exactly the same way that you've been doing it. One day at a time, one day at a time. So hopefully, we can get through this. Look like we lost Shantae, but my sister said God got you. May God continue to heal. Yeah. So okay, so I guess we'll wrap this up. I vow that I. Okay, so Brenda have one more comment here. Let's see. Lord, come alongside of her and give her what she needs. I know you are able. Touch her right now. Put your arms around her in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. That's beautiful, Brenda. Yeah. So I think we lost Shantae probably because of some technical difficulties, but either way it goes, we're gonna close now. Queen Nubia said that she was in the midst of trying to get some stuff wrapped up so that she could come on, and that's okay too. The main thing is that you were here, Brenda. Shantae did come on because she was my guest star today, and Queen Nubia will join her again. She'll join in again next Saturday. Hopefully, she'll be able to. And sounds good. Thank you, Brenda. So this is the Few, the Proud, the For Real TV. This has been a great night. I want to thank all the people who are in the audience tonight. And hopefully you will continue to tune in. Though you may not want to have a conversation, maybe you're just tuning in to hear what I have to say. And, and I'm sure there are people out there that are going to be judgmental. That's fine. That's absolutely fine because the For Real team is moving forward, and we're looking for people who are going to come on board and be productive people. That's what we need. We need productive people and people who have the ability to communicate, because that's one of our skills that is definitely required to turn our young people around. We need to have someone who can communicate effectively and appropriately and can communicate without profane language. We need people that are not going to lash out at one another and have that capability of lashing out. We need people that are cool, calm, and collected, so that way we can send clear messages to our young people that we have got to do something different. It's important. It's important stuff. We got to do something different. And so if there's people out there who want to join the team, send us an email. I'll be the one that would reach out to you and get connected with you. We're still working on those flyers, so I got to get those flyers printed up tomorrow because I want to make sure those flyers are out there in reference to Sunday dinners. That is the theme, Sunday dinners for the year. And I'm hoping that this Sunday dinner is going to start a wave, and we're going to have Sunday dinner with the neighbors next door or your cousins, whoever it is, just as long as it's a Sunday dinner, and we're inviting people to come and to break bread and to help cook the meal. Bring something for the meal. Bring the dessert. And leave your attitude outside the door. Don't bring your attitude in the house. If you got differences with your family members, leave that outside. come into the home with a smile. I want you guys to learn how to get back to embracing one another and saying you love one another, a kiss on the cheek, and thank God we're still together. So, with that being said, Brenda, do you have anything you'd like to share with the audience before I shut this down? And for those who have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel so that way you can get notices when we are going to go live. Make sure you thumb up the video, share the video. Let's get actively involved with our people. Let's get actively involved with our people. So the more you share, the more information is going to get out there for the people that are struggling with family dynamics. We got to put an end to it. We got to stomp out these family issues because believe me, our children are taking it all in, and they're going to take that out into the world, and they're going to behave the exact same way you behave in your relationships. And we're not all going to be that fortunate. We're not always going to be able to get away with that. You may meet someone that's going to be willing to take your life, and that's not what we want. So we want to make sure we're sending good messages when we're at home with our children. My sister says good night. I love you, Brenda. I got the best baby sister in the whole wide world. So yes, thank you everybody for those that did tune in tonight. I look forward to hearing from you next weekend, and I'm going to try to get Sonny back in the house because he was dynamic. He was on point. He was on point. So I'm hoping that I'll get Sonny back into the house again as well. Okay. My sister says she loves me more. She's the best. All right, everybody. Have a good night, and thank you again. Okay.